Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I'm going to be getting a new kill record for my Plays for Free account. This is the account, as you've all heard me say before, I started in 2018, I don't spend anything on. Now, my kill record on my main account was actually set probably about a decade ago in the E75. I managed to pick up 12 kills in a single game of World of Tanks, and just how many I'm going to achieve on my free-to-play account, you're going to have to wait and see. I'm not going to spoil it now. You're going to have to see how many kills we're going to be able to pick up before the end of this battle. So, the tank that got the new kill record on the free-to-play account, of course, it's an Italian tank destroyer. It is the CC Mark II. This thing, inside a lovely matchup like this, and also a lovely map for it, where it gets to use all of its 10 degrees of gun depression, it's no wonder why we're going to be able to picking up so many frags on the enemy team in this kind of a scenario. So the CC Mark II has 490 alpha damage, a 4-round magazine, although it has a long intra-clip reload, 8 seconds in between its shots. So that kind of really balances out that 490 alpha damage. There are quite a few vehicles that start to get near that kind of reload, at least when they're having about 400 alpha damage at tier 9. And because this thing can't use a gun rammer, you can't really improve the intra-clip reload anyway. So it's a bit of a weird tank. A Tortoise can actually get to a 5-second reload with 400 alpha damage, which is obviously way better than this thing's 490 alpha damage in 8 seconds. Nevertheless, you still don't want to get caught by a Controcarro, and when we've got a similar reload to the Concept or even to the TS-54 reloading both of its shells, then we can make some seriously good trades. The real strength of this vehicle is that to reload those 4 130mm shells that deal 490 damage a shot doesn't take all that long. The actual reload of the vehicle is 24 seconds, which is the intra-clip of 3 shells. So this tank will take 24 seconds to unload its 3 shells and 24 seconds to reload another 4 shells to be able to shoot again. So a bit of a bizarre kind of thing with these Italian tank destroyers. And what it means is that if you're a little bit sneaky and you reload as soon as you fired, like now, then you can leave your opponents wondering exactly how many shells the Italian tank destroyer has left. So in this kind of a scenario, I'm against some really tough tanks. A Concept 1B, although I'm really happy that I've shaved off half of their hit points. And as you can see, even though I'm reloading, I'm faking this Concept into thinking that I am loaded. And now, I didn't have to fake for too long because of that reload after 3 shells that I'm ready to go. That was a wonderful shot right up into the flaps that go above the tracks there, so I'm able to overmatch the Concept, and I find a shell into the lower plate, finishing off one of the most dangerous tanks in the game at tier 9. And I'm going to decide to tank the TS-54 shell there to also finish off the standard B. And just like that, we picked up our first couple of the kills of the game against some very dangerous tanks. 2 of the enemy's top tier vehicles vanquished by me, with only the T-95 on the other side of the map destroyed and the Skoda T-50 still remaining, along with an artillery that we could one-shot with this 490 alpha damage. So now it's just a case of reloading, having put the extra round into the TS-54, and now hopefully just going and dealing with this new Tier 8 premium, or ultra premium when you think about it, considering that to have one of those TS-54s, you have to be spending $9 a month. But oh my lord, look at that awful accuracy on this tank, 0.42 base. Luckily I bounced the TS-54, so I should be able to shoot him again before he ends up reloading that shell. And we're up to our 3rd kill now with the 3,400 damage. Man, this thing is awesome if you can hide that lower plate. The lower plate on this tank is absolutely tragic. The upper plate pretty good, the turret absolutely awesome. It does have some issues. There's no armor behind these 2 areas on the side, although unless you've really got unless you're really towards the side of the CC Mark II, it can be really hard to still be able to hit them. This thing is an absolute beast. I wouldn't say it's as powerful tier for tier as the Minotauro, because the Minotauro packing that 530 alpha damage and just being an all-round more solid behemoth of the battlefield is definitely more scary at tier 10 than I think this thing is at tier 9. But when you get nice matchmaking for this vehicle, it is just as scary. Alright, so that Spatuk is trying to run from us. I'm feathering out the defender, and oh gosh, here comes a Skoda. And what you're going to see here is one of the shortest intra-clip reloads in the game on the Skoda T50 of 1.8 seconds against one of the longest intra-clip reloads I was able to fire first. The Skoda could dump all 3 rounds in 3.6 seconds. And I've still got several seconds left before I can put the second one. And ouch, receiving 3 rounds from that tier 9 autoloader now means that I'm not very healthy. I thought this game was going to be easy sailing. However, now I'm down to a one-shot for pretty much every single vehicle on the enemy team, apart from that Spatuk. But okay, let's see if we can pick up a Top Gun here by finishing off this Borask. Oh, finally, a shell that flies true. When I got 0.42 base accuracy like on a tank like this, even with vents, it still doesn't get that accurate at decent distances. Okay, so I'm quite worried about the way that this game is going. We've got a Scorpion who's down to 2/3 of their hit points and an artillery against 4 lower tier but still dangerous tanks. The BZ-176, if they hit the side, is definitely going to be able to finish me off with an HE shell and lots of opportunities for overmatching this vehicle with the 160mm armor piercing shells that tank has. I'm trying to motivate my team. As we can see, I thought we had something epic that we could achieve here. Of course, when you've picked up 6 kills and there's still 4 left on the enemy team, you've got an opportunity for epic, right? That BZ-176 is a... thank goodness! The VK hits them now, so I'm no longer a 50-50 to be able to finish them off, although unfortunately my artillery doesn't manage to finish them off. Do I get spotted in the side there against the Scorpion? I do. Was that BZ reloading? In this kind of a situation, I feel like I just got to let the chips fall where they may and go after this BZ-176 and try and hotshot them. They missed me. If they'd hit the front of my tank there, I probably would have been able to take the hit. If they'd hit the side, they probably would have been able to finish me off. And come on, baby, just a little bit of RNG. The Scorpion G bounces a gold shell off the top. The artillery hits the Scorpion, which means that now that he's stunned, I know that I'll be able to reload before he will. Because with that 25% increase to his reload time, even though he's got 490 alpha damage on that tank and probably comparable damage per minute to me, if not better damage per minute than me if he's using a gun rammer, I will get my shell off first. So great job there by the artillery. And now we're up to 8 kills. This is already a Radley Walters medal, ladies and gents, but there are still 2 tanks left on the enemy team. Will we be able to get the Pools medal, which is for 10 for destroying literally 2/3 of the enemy team? So I'm asking this VK for help. The VK has most of our remaining hit points. The artillery has some of them as well. And we're still against 2 tanks that we've got to be careful. I should be able to tank 1 shell from the TVP, but that doesn't really mean much when a TVP's got like a 4-second reload or something. So if a TVP has a 4-second reload, he's going to be able to fire at least 2 times, if not 3 times, in my 8-second intraclip reload. Okay, in this situation, I've got heat loaded, so I should be able to go through most of the defender's armor. Unfortunately, the Spatuk finishes off the batch at 155.55, so we won't have any artillery support. But I'm letting the VK know that I would love for him to cap. Now, I don't think it would be the best play right now for me to enter the cap circle as well. I wanted to add a little bit of confusion to the mix. And I also feel that if I go into the cap circle, we allow the enemy to be able to pincer us. Whereas if I take a slightly forward position here, there's no way that even if the Spatuk goes all the way around, they're not going to get spotted by the VK. Most likely, I guess in some way they could end up in this kind of a position here, but likely they're going to come through the center. I want to control the high ground, because this is where I would attack if I was the enemy team. I would make my way along the edge of the map, come around the corner and get the cross shots in. And there we go, ladies and gents. Defender exactly where I wanted them, picking up our 9th kill of the game, destroying Fat Faster on the enemy team in their tier 8 Soviet heavy tank. So I was wondering, maybe the Spatuk will think that I've got a really long reload and then they're going to come round. Unfortunately, the Spatuk is still on a sizable amount of hit points, so I'm going to have to hit them twice if I want to finish them off. But I decided, what's really the point of reloading here? While I do have a fast reload on the tank, I'd have to be firing for 16 seconds at the Spatuk to fire all 3 of these rounds. And 16 seconds might as well be a lifetime when you're dealing with a rapid-fire 100mm. Okay, so now that it's been a while, I don't think the Spatuk is going to be coming from this side anymore. And to force their hand, I'm going to go into the cap circle so I can stick with the VK. Because if the Spatuk finds me and all-ins me, then it's going to be down to the VK to hopefully be able to get off the remaining blows. So I'm a little bit worried about going around this corner, so I'm just going a little bit slowly. But considering how long the TVP has been taking, I think he must have gone through this part of the map, and he's trying to flank around to be able to come after us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wedge myself in here, so I can also shoot up on the right, and also hopefully still proxy spot if they're going to be coming down these alleyways. And there he is. There's the Spatuk on 790 hit points. They fire into the VK, interrupting the cap circle. I come around the corner, hopefully to be able to catch them. They fire at the VK twice. The VK connects the shot, and I confirm the kill. 6,200 damage and 10 kills, ladies and gents, is the new kill record for my Plays for Free account. This round seriously feels good. Not just the fact that we managed to destroy 10 of the 15 players on the enemy team on my free-to-play account, but because the game before this, I did 0 damage in this tank. And to go from literally 0 to hero sometimes is just the absolute emotional boost that you need to keep motivated on the free-to-play account. With no premium consumables, not spending free experience on any of the modules, pain and suffering to be able to get a tank into, albeit this fully upgraded form, can sometimes feel oh so worth it. So unsurprisingly, an ace tanker here for 1,642 base experience. Awesome for a tier 9 tanker. Pools medal for those 10 kills. A steel wall medal for blocking 2,250 damage, enough to destroy our vehicle. A high caliber for 6,200 damage. And while I fired some gold rounds, I still made a rather decent profit. All in all, a solid day's work free to play. And if any of you are considering whether you should pick up the Italian tank destroyers, yes, they're doing great across the board, with the only real vehicle that you might want to avoid the tier 8, but it's still not bad. And one of the reasons why it's only getting a 48% win ratio is because no tier 8 tech tree tanks actually end up getting a good win ratio. This is the second best of any tier 8 tank destroyer, and that's because, of course, they're having to play against pay-to-win premium tanks. So ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was it for today. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching this video as it's released on Monday, it's time for brand new token drops, and I'm going to be going live all day on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. So if you want to get yourself some fat loot like this, then swing by, enjoy me, smash some tanks, and pick up some great loot yourself. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you all live right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.